Story of the Three Trees. Once upon a time, there was a three little trees stood and dreamed of what they want to become when they grew up. The first tree looked up at the stars and said, I want to hold treasure. I want to be covered with gold and filled with precious stones. I will be the most beautiful treasure chest in the world. The second little tree looked out at the small stream trickling by on its way to the ocean. I want to be traveling mighty waters and carrying powerful kings. I'll be the strongest ship in the world. The third tree looked down into the town below where busy men and women worked. I don't want to live the mountain top at all. I want to grow so tall that when people stop to look at me, they will raise their eyes to heaven and think of God. I will be the tallest tree in the world. Year passed, the rain came, and the sun shone, and the little trees grew tall. One day, the three woodcutters climbed the mountain. The first woodcutter looked at the first tree and said, This tree is beautiful. It is perfect for me. With a swoop of his shining axe, the first tree fell. Now I shall be made into a beautiful chest. I shall hold the wonderful treasure, said the first tree. The second woodcutter looked at the second tree and said, This tree is strong. It'll perfect for me. With a swoop of his shiny axe, the second tree fell. Now I shall sail mighty waters, thought the second tree. I shall be a strong ship for mighty kings. The third tree felt her heart sink when the last woodcutter looked her way. She stood straight and tall and pointed bravely to heaven. But woodcutter never even looked up. Any kinds of tree will do for me, he muttered. With a swoop of his shining axe, the third tree fell. The first tree rejoiced when the woodcutter brought her to a carpenter's shop. But the carpenter fashioned the tree into a feed box for animals. Once the beautiful tree was not covered with gold, nor with treasure. She was coated with a sawdust and filled with hay for hungry farm animals. The second tree smiled when the woodcutter took her to the shipyard, but no mighty sailing ship was made that day. Instead, the once strong tree was hammered and sawed into a simple fishing boat. She was too small and too weak to sail on ocean or even a river. Instead, she was taken to a little lake. The third tree was confused when the woodcutter cut her into strong beams and left her in the lumberyard. What happened? The once tall tree wondered. All I ever wanted was to stay on the mountain top and pointed to God. Many, many days and nights passed. The three trees nearly forgot their dreams. But one day, the golden starling poured over the first tree as a young woman placed her newborn baby in the feed box. I wish I could make a carling for him, her husband whispered. The mother squeezed his hand and smiled as the starling shone on the smooth and the sturdy wood. This manger is beautiful, she said, and suddenly the first tree knew He was holding the greatest treasure in the world. On the evening, a tired traveler and his friends crowded into an old fishing boat. The traveler fell asleep as a second tree quietly sailed out into the lake. But soon the thundering and trembling storm arose. The little tree, surprised, she knew she did not have the strength to carry so many passengers safely through with a wind and the rain. The tired man awakened. He stood up and stretched out his hand and said, "Peace!" The storm stopped as quickly as it had begun. And suddenly the second tree knew he was carrying the king of heaven and earth. And on Friday morning, the third tree was startled when her beams were yanked from the forgotten woodpile. She fenced as if she was carried through an angry, jeering crowds. She surprised when the soldier nailed a man's hand to her. She felt ugly and harsh and cruel. But Sunday morning, when the sun arose and the earth trembled with joy breathed her, the third tree knew that God's love had changed everything. It had made the third tree strong, and every time people thought of a third tree, they would think of God. That was the best and the better than being the tallest tree in the world. So in this story, I learned that I I learned that so in this story I learned that the time that I fell down because I did not get what I wanted, but I have to be happy because God is thinking of something better to give me. So thank you for listening this story and see you later.